So good morning everyone. So for our lesson this morning, this day, it is all about technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. We have a cute theme here, enhancing mathematics instruction through technology integration. So for our introduction to our TPAC, so we have we are going to integrate technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge for effective teaching. So it would help us incorporate digital tools in our math instruction. So we have three key components here, and this is what we are going to discuss this day. We have the content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and technological knowledge. So first one is the content knowledge in mathematics. So it would refer to the teacher's deep understanding of math principles, concepts, and procedures. So, a strong content knowledge enables teachers to explain topics clearly, identify students' difficulties, and use appropriate teaching strategies. So, kapag sinabi nating content knowledge, ibig sabihin ito yung nalalaman ni teacher. Kaya mas mainam na mas maraming knowledge si teacher para mas marami rin siyang ma-share sa kanyang mga students. So, dito sa CK, sa content knowledge, halimbawa, meron tayong teaching fractions, decimals, and ratios. Mga ganyan. So, kapag maganda ang CK ni teacher, ang kanyang content knowledge, marunong siyang mag-compute ng, hindi lang siya marunong mag-compute ng fraction, ng decimal, ng ratio, kundi alam rin niya kung paano o kailan gagamitin ang mga fraction, mga decimal, mga lesson na ito. So, similarly naman, kapag nagtuturo ng decimal si teacher, dapat alam niya rin kung kailan ito i-relate sa fraction and vice versa. So, meron tayong key teaching strategies dito sa content knowledge. Okay? So, syempre, dapat clear explanation. Dapat klarong-klaro ang explanation. So, meron tayong tatlo dito. First, paano nga ba malalaman na klaro ang ating mga explanation? First, breakdown. So as much as possible, we need to break down mathematical concepts into simple logical steps. So kailangan nating ilagay ang ating sarili sa lugar ng ating mga estudyante, ng ating mga pupils. Dapat bumaba tayo sa kanilang level upang mas madali nilang maintindihan ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ni teacher. Pangalawa, use. So, gumamit tayo ng iba't ibang klase ng pagre-represent. Hindi lang sa isa, hindi lang diagram. Pwede rin tayong gumamit ng number lines. At kahit na anong mga manipulatives. Kapag sinabi naman nating manipulatives, something na nahahawakan ng ating mga estudyante. Kasi, according sa mga studies, kapag ang isang estudyante ay meron siyang nahahawakan, mas madali niya ito maiintindihan. Hindi lang kumbaga visual. At ang pangatlo, provide. Siyempre, magpo-provide si teacher ng step-by-step demonstration. Siyempre, mangunguna si teacher. Hindi pwede na dire-diretso yung estudyante na ang ating pasasagutin. Lalo na kung mahirap ang topic. Next, pangalawa, real-world application. So, kailangan nating i-connecta ang mga mathematical concepts sa ating everyday life. Kasi, yung mga tanong ng ating mga estudyante, Ma'am, Sir, para saan ba yan? Kailan ba natin yan gagamitin? So, halimbawa, ang fraction pwede natin gamitin sa pagluluto. Okay? 1/2 cup of flour. Mga ganyan. O, ilang kutsarang asin ba? Ilang kutsara ng ganito, ganyan. So, 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, mga ganyan. Diba? Meron ding ratio, 1:3. Halimbawa, sa pagluluto ng bigas. Diba? So, siguro isang bigas, 3 tubig, mga ganyan. And, syempre, mga word problems kung saan makaka-relate naman ang ating mga estudyante para maging meaningful ang kanilang pag-study sa mathematics. Pangatlo naman, addressing misconception. So, kapag may mga mali ang ating mga estudyante, halimbawa na lang dito sa example, 1/4 plus 1/4, okay? Usually, ang magiging sagot nila, depende sa level nila. May iba, ang magiging sagot nila 2/8. So, kanilang ini-add ang numerator at denominator. 1 plus 1, 2. 4 plus 4, 8, 2, 8. So, mas naging maliit siya. Diba? Kasi instead na maging 1/2, naging 1/4 na lamang siya. Kasi may dalawang 1/4. Dalawang 1/4. Isang 1/4 at isang 1/4. So, logically, dapat magiging 1/2 na siya. So, kailangan natin niyang i-address at i-explain sa kanila bakit naging 1/2. Okay? Pwede rin tayong gumamit ng mga diagnostic question. Halimbawa, tanongin natin sila kung gaano na ba kalalim ang kanilang mga naiintindihan, ano pa bang hindi nila naiintindihan, mga ganyan. Tapos, pwede rin tayong mag-provide ng counter-example. Okay? Sa ganito, halimbawa, may sinabi silang isang ideya na mali. So, magbibigay tayo ng isang example na magpapatunay na mali ang kanilang sinagot, mali ang kanilang ibinigay na ideya. Okay? So, ganyan. Magpo-provide tayo ng counter-example upang ma-encourage natin sila na mag-iisip talaga sila ng mabuti. Okay? Dito naman tayo sa pangalawa. Pedagogical knowledge sa mathematics. Kapag sinabi nating PK, pedagogical knowledge, ibig sabihin, nagre-refer naman ito sa understanding ni teacher, paano nga ba siya magturo ng mabuti, how to teach. Okay? How to teach. Kasi kanina sa content knowledge, kung naalala nyo, yun ay deep understanding. Dito naman, how to teach. Paano nga ba ito ituro? So, sa mathematics, kapag sinabi natin PK, it involves various teaching strategies. So, dapat alam nyo ano ang iba't ibang teaching strategy. Okay? Ano ang iba't ibang klase ng pag-manage ng classroom. Halimbawa, kapag masyado na maingay, so, magsasabi kayo na, okay, hey, hep hep, tapos dapat sasagot sila, hooray, okay, mga ganyan. Upang makatch natin ang kanilang attention, upang maging engaged sila. So, meron tayong iba't ibang key aspects sa ating pedagogical knowledge. So, ang isang teacher na may malakas na PK, ibig sabihin, alam niya paano engage ang kanyang mga students sa iba't ibang konsepto sa mathematics. Okay, yan ang una. So, magiging engaged sila. So, kumbaga, ang first na goal natin as mathematics teacher, dapat ma-in-love sila sa mathematics. Okay? Ma-in-love sila sa mathematics. So, pangalawa, choose appropriate teaching strategies based on students' needs. So, syempre, ang gagamitin natin na teaching strategy yung angkop sa kanilang pangangailangan, hindi naman nila kailangan pero yun ang binigay mo. So hindi magiging effective yun. Ang tendency nun, hindi sila makakalimutan yun nila. Okay? Pangatlo, manage classroom to create positive learning environment. So kung halimbawa nagkamali si student, wag mo siyang ipapahiya sa buong klase. Kasi ang magiging tendency niyan, ayaw na niyang sumagot sa susunod na time, tatanungin mo siya. So, instead na sasabihin mong, you're wrong, something like that. So, sasabihin mo pa rin, very good, but there is a better answer. Okay? So, something like that. So, gawin lang nating positive. At ang pang-apat naman, i-assess natin ang kanilang student learning. And i-adjust natin ang instruction base sa kung ano ang level nila. Okay? So, ano nga ba ang iba't ibang halimbawa ng pedagogical strategies sa math? So, first is the inquiry-based learning. So, dito sa type na learning na to, ini-encourage natin sila na mag-explore sila ng iba't ibang konsepto sa mathematics sa pamamagitan ng pagtatanong, pag-iimbestiga, at pagdidiskubre ng kung ano-ano. Okay? So, halimbawa, meron tayong ang topic natin ay formula para sa paghahanap ng area ng triangle. So instead na sasabihin natin 1/2 base times height, so magpapakat muna tayo ng paper triangle tapos ipapa-arrange natin sa kanila upang slowly mag-guide natin sila papunta sa formula na iyon. Bakit nga ba naging 1/2 base times height? Okay, so idea niyan is something like kung meron tayong isang rectangle tapos hahatiin natin, meron tayong dalawang triangle at galing doon mag-iisip na tayo ng idea paano nga ba yun mako-connect sa formula na 1/2 base times height or something like that. Okay? Pangalawang example naman, problem solving approach. So dito sa problem solving approach, kailangan tayo mag-focus kung paano natin i-engage ang ating mga students sa totoong halimbawa, sa totoong mga problema sa buhay. Okay? Sa mundong ito. Halimbawa, magbibigay tayo ng real world scenario. Okay? Maglalaan tayo ng budget para sa isang event ng school. Okay? So, halimbawa, ang budget para sa isang event ng school ay nasa 100,000. So, halimbawa, sa intrams yan, 100,000. So, may iba't ibang bakit 100,000 ang ating ibibigay? So, something like that. Tatanungin natin sila. Paano nila i-divide ang 100,000 sa iba't ibang mga event? Basketball, volleyball, chess, and so on and so forth. So sa pamamagitan yan, mag-i-involve na yan ng decimal, ng percentage, at ng iba't ibang operations sa mathematics. Okay? Pangatlo, collaborative learning. So dito naman, i-involve natin ang pag-work nila together para mag-solve ng problem. So dito, mas mainam to kapag magdi-discuss sila ng iba't ibang strategy, iba't ibang konsepto upang makapag-arrive sila ng iisang sagot. Okay? So, syempre, kailangan yung tandaan teachers na kailangan lahat sila ay involved. Kaya naman, minsan, kung may mga rubrics ng collaborative learning, meron talagang teamwork. Kasi dapat may teamwork sila. Hindi yung puro si leader lang ang magsasat sa harap. Okay, nabubulol ako. So, yan. Next, differentiated instruction. So, mag-a-adapt ng teaching method and materials na mag-meet sa iba't ibang kailangan ng ating mga students. Kasi may iba na prefer nila visual. May iba naman prefer nila na gumagalaw sila. So, kailangan ang ating instruction ay naaayon sa iba't ibang pangangailangan ng mga student na yun. So, halimbawa, magbibigay tayo ng multiple representation. Pwedeng visual, pwedeng puro number, pwede ring verbal. Sa iba't ibang konsepto katulad ng fraction. Siyempre, depende naman yan kung ano ang level. Ang level ng mga estudyante o anong mga level na na-assign sa inyo. But the more, the better. Okay? The more representation, then the better. So, do not stick with one. Next, dito naman tayo sa pangatlo, technological knowledge in mathematics. So, si TK, nagre-refer naman ito sa ability ni teacher na gumamit ng digital tools para sa technology para ma-enhance ang math teaching and learning. So, tandaan nyo, enhance math teaching and learning. So, kanina sa content, deep understanding. Sa PK naman is how to teach. And dito naman sa technological knowledge, enhance math teaching and learning. So, kailangan natin ma-involve paano nga ba ito sa iba't ibang resources, paano nga ba sila i-integrate sa lesson, and so on and so forth. So, ang key aspects ng ating TK, kapag ang isang teacher ay may malakas na TK, alam niya, okay, knows which digital tools are available for teaching math. Alam niya ano nga ba ang angkop na tools para sa ganitong na topic. Okay? Alam niya kung ano ang angkop na tools na gagamitin upang mas madaling maintindihan ng mga students. And of course, pangatlo, ma-i-integrate niya ang technology nga ano nga ba ang angkop upang mas mainam, mas mabilis, mas efficient ang pag-understand ng mga students pagdating sa mathematics. Okay? So, ano nga ba ang iba't ibang example ng technological tools? Dito tayo una sa GeoGebra. Okay? So, sa GeoGebra, it is a dynamic tool for geometry, algebra, and calculus. It allows our students to visualize concepts mathematically sa pamamagitan ng mga graph, mga shape, ng iba't ibang simulation. Okay, so explore tayo. This one, let's go to GeoGebra. So there it is, the GeoGebra Classic. And then this is a very nice app. So this is the interface of the GeoGebra. So let's say, for example, we have here the geometry, the 3D graphics, the right side. So we have many options there. So first, let us try the graphing. So let's try to type some functions here. We have x plus y. Let's say, for example, we have 2x plus 2. So as you can see, that will be our line. Slope is clearly there. And then we can add another function, and it has many functions, buttons. So this one, let's try circle given 1 point. So we're going to determine what point will we be putting the center to, and as we put the cursor away, it will determine how wide or how big will our circle be. Okay, so it's very nice, it's very interactive because you can play around with a different shape. And we also have here, let's say for example, we have an ellipse or the oblong. So in ellipse, we just need to point the foci or the 2 points. Okay, and after that one, we are going to determine how wide will our ellipse be. Okay, so just like that. And then after that, we can also try to explore other things, like let's say for example, if we want to explore with our 3D geometry. Wait, I am still looking for it. um, yeah, here. So we have the graphics 2, the 3D graphics. So graphics 2 is just the 2D graphics, so we still have our writings from earlier. We can actually erase that one. So at the right portion, if you can see, we have three different lines there, three different colors, because it would signify three axes, the X, Y, Z. So that is the essence of our 3 dimension, because it is 3 dimensional. So in the upper left, you can see different menu there. We have different types. We have the A, we have the 2 points, and then a line. So those are our options. So let's say for example, let's try this prism. So I'm going to point how many points will there be in our as our faces for our base. And after that one, I'm going to determine what will the height be. Okay, what will the height be? So that's how easy it is. And then for the next one, let's say for example, I want to build another prism. I want to make another prism. So just like that, and I will determine the height. Where will it be? So it's very fun. Very, yeah, it's very fun to play with. So that is the interface of the GeoGebra. So let's try. Yeah, we cannot see it clearly. So we can also try the sphere there. So that is GeoGebra. So for our second example, we have the Desmos, the online graphing calculator. So it's very nice because we can see the real-time graph changes also, just like the GeoGebra earlier, right? So now let's start with Desmos. So as you can see, we have Desmos there. Just click that one, the Desmos, and then open graphing calculator. So there it is, the Desmos. You can try to explore that one together with your students if you want to. Okay, so we have the 3x plus 3 there. Then we can also try other functions that would appear to be somehow cute, just like this one. We have the x squared plus y squared minus 1 to the power of 3, which is equal to x squared y cubed, x squared y cubed. And as you can see, as I am typing it, you can see that some of the figures are already forming there for our graph. So that's it. That's a cute hearty for you. So third one is the Kahoot and quizzes. So these platforms make interactive and engaging quizzes and games activities. You can also have this one for your activities, and it is very fun. Okay, so let's move here. So just put on quizzes on your search bar or into your URL. So it would ask you to sign up. So if you have one, you have an email, then you can use that one. So in my case, I already had my email. So I'm going to press create. However, I encountered a small problem here because my storage is already full. So which is why I'm going to delete, or I'm going to archive some of my quizzes because it's very full. So here, trying to figure out, still I cannot. So I'm going to delete that one. So once you're free there, okay, so here I'm ticking the boxes because I'm trying to archive that one, uh, these three. So it's already archived. And then I'm going to press create, and then it would let me choose, would it be an assessment or a lesson, so you can choose one. So I chose assessment. So in assessment, you can just search for questions there, or you can type your own question, just like what I am doing. So I can ask my own question. Okay, and the very fun part here is once you are going to publish this one, so your students can join here. Okay, your students can join through a given link or a given code, and then they can all interact with one game. Okay, just like that one. So here I'm typing my question: who is your instructor in TMAT 2? So I'm typing here Sir Mikey, Sir Tommy, Sir Marky, and lastly Sir Mir. And you need to choose which is the correct answer by clicking on the upper right side. So if you're done with that, you can press save questions, and then you can publish it. But before that one, I'm going to preview so that you can have a viewpoint on how will your students see that one. So just like this one, and promise it's very fun. Okay, and one note. So these are your form of learning management system. So if you have been to the pandemic period, this was widely used, and I'm actually still using it right now. So in Google Classroom, you can have your assignment be submitted there, and then the teacher can provide some feedback. So you can monitor their progress there. So if you have some math projects, so they can submit it through Google Classroom, and you can feedback using the Google Docs or the OneNote, which is quite similar to Microsoft Word. Okay, and that's it. Hope you learned something from this video.